Welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 250,000 subscribers. Now, we're almost there, thanks to you. So hit subscribe, watch, but most importantly, share with a friend because there's a lot to talk about. I mean, when I say there's a lot to talk about, how many times have you heard me talk about Trump wanting to be an expansionist, wanting to grow the United States' territory, very much like what we're seeing with Putin or what we're seeing with China? In the last week alone, Trump has made it his business to speak about buying Greenland and taking the Panama Canal. And I've warned everybody that this would happen. I also believe Mexico is in play, not to mention all of his conversations about Canada becoming the 51st state. I mean, look, I want to show you a clip from the political beatdown on Tuesday on this topic. But before I do that, I want to show you something else. I mean, first off, yesterday on Christmaka, and remember, first time in 114 years that Christmas and Hanukkah fall out on the same day, Trump posted this article on Truth Social. Here it is. The Washington Post. Now remember, Washington Post is owned by Jeff Bezos, who has now certainly taken the knee and capitulated to some of these ideas, making sure that the articles are only positive. And it says, it's by Mark Thiessen, Trump's idea of buying Greenland is far from absurd. Really? Seriously? What they're claiming is that it is militarily a strategic location. And remember, this isn't the first time that he's talked about buying Greenland. It was part of his 2017 through 2020, campaign comments, and as well as his administration that they wanted to buy. It didn't happen, but he talked about it. Who knows? Maybe Greenland now becomes part of the United States. Maybe I'll ask to be ambassador to Greenland. I hear it's beautiful. I mean, this is so absurd, but not according to the Washington Post. I want to further go on and show you a clip from Michael Whatley. And if you don't know who he is, Michael Whatley is the RNC chairman. Remember, he was co-RNC chair with Lara Trump. And he's discussing why Trump is interested in purchasing Greenland. Play the clip.
I'm sure we're about to get to the bottom of that. Why is he interested in Greenland?
Well, I think from a national security perspective, as he said, certainly a place that is very rich in minerals and, is geopolitically important for him. And it's a conversation that we want to have with Denmark about being able to use the resources up there.
Yeah, it's going to cost about $1.5 trillion, but it probably will pay off. Next.
Wait. It's going to cost $1.5 trillion, but it could pay off. It's rich in natural resources. You know what else is rich in natural resources? Let's just call it oil. Saudi Arabia, Iran, right? Venezuela. Why not? Well, Mexico. Mexico is huge in natural resources. You know what else? Canada. Aluminum, lumber, gas, natural gas. I mean, if we're talking about acquiring for $1.5 trillion Greenland, why do that? Why not just take it? Seriously, I mean, if this is the way that we're going to act and we're going to speak when you're talking about taking over the Panama Canal, when you're talking about making Canada America's 51st state, providing them lower taxes and bigger business and military protection, why spend $1.5 trillion? Doesn't sound like Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy have been brought in on this conversation, because pursuant to the whole mantra of DOGE, right? Department of Government Efficiency. Doesn't really make sense to spend $1.5 trillion when militarily we could take it for nothing, right? I mean, if we're going to play that game, let's really play the game. There's nobody on the planet that can come close to the United States militarily. So if we're going to go ahead and we're going to provide military protection, for example, to Canada, well, why not? Why not provide it to Saudi and Venezuela and Iran? Let's just take Iran. I mean, you remember in 2017 during the campaign, 2016 through 2017. Trump was talking about taking the oil fields in Iran. Do you remember? He turned around and he said, not my words, but his, to the victor goes the spoils. He said, well, let's just take it. So why pay $1.5 trillion? And how do we know? How do we know that there's 1.5 trillion worth of minerals? I don't know. And by the way, the interesting thing, neither does Michael Watley. Now I want to show you a clip of John Roberts on Fox News discussing Trump's goals. Play that clip.
They say Greenland's not for sale, but sometimes things aren't for sale until they are for sale. And when you look at Trump, I mean, this is a guy who bought Mar-a-Lago for $7 million. He knows how to cut a deal.
Okay. Buying an RTC, a resolution trust asset, going back, 30 years ago from an auction is not the same as buying Greenland. You see, this is the problem. It's just not serious conversation by John Roberts of Fox or by Michael Watley of the RNC. These aren't serious conversations. By the way, if they were really serious, let Trump do that. If there really is a benefit to America, I'm all in. Sure, why not? If we could buy Greenland for $1.5 trillion and the United States of America will then be enriched with greater natural resources and minerals and whatnot, sure, why not? If Greenland wants to sell, right? I mean, if Greenland is for sale. And I want to show you a clip from Political Beatdown where my co-host Ben Meiselas and I were discussing, amongst other things, this issue because I've been talking about Trump's expansionism for God knows how long now. As soon as the war started in Russia and Ukraine, I turned around and I told you this is what was going to happen, not because I'm clairvoyant, but because I've heard this conversation so many times before. Play the clip. Join me for a second here because you remember, and a lot of people were making fun of me when I said, when Trump sees, for example, Putin going into Ukraine and taking land, taking over or trying to take over that country. And the concern is that as soon as he accomplishes that, his next target will be Poland. And we talked about how NATO won't exist for the United States because he intends to jump out of that immediately. But I sort of said that, and you may remember this, well, if Putin's taking Ukraine and then going to try to take Poland, and China is looking to take Taiwan, why would Trump not look to take Mexico as well as take Canada? And now all of a sudden you hear him talking about taking over the Panama Canal, taking over Canada, where he talks about, let's read this one. I'm going to put my glasses on. Panama Canal is considered a vital national asset for the United States due to its critical role to America's economy and national security. A secure Panama Canal is crucial for U.S. commerce and rapid deployment of the Navy from the Atlantic to the Pacific, and drastically cut shipping times to U.S. ports. United States is the #1 user of the canal, with over 70% of all transits heading to or from U.S. ports. Considered one of the wonders of the modern world, Panama Canal opened for business 110 years ago and was built at huge cost to the United States and it goes on. All right, my point is, it's exactly what I said he would do. I turned around and I said that he's going to look to take Mexico. He'll look to take Canada. Why? Because in that way, you don't have borders anymore. Now you have shoreline. And how many people are like, oh, it can't happen. It can't happen. Bullshit. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.